Hey there, YouTube. This is just Carrie reporting in, saying that actually, I'm not really reporting in. I want to have a little heart-to-heart here. And because of that, I'm going to say this is an R rating because I'm going to use 4-letter words to be able to express myself and my utter frustration with things. And to have a little discussion. Alright. Things are nuts right now. Okay, and not like sort of kind of crazy, more like nuts on steroids or something. Okay, and ISON, the government shutdown, all this, it's all there to bring in fear. Okay, and I'm not going to lie to you and say, oh, I've been totally fine. I've just been sitting here enjoying a Mai Tai, like nothing's going on. You know, how, you know, and I'll be honest, it gets really frustrating to go to work, you know, and this is true for anybody's job, okay, not just mine, okay, anybody who works in the private, works out in the marketplace, okay, with people at some point, you want to go over and shake them because, like, you're upset over a piece of lint in a picture frame when there are so many other issues that need to be dealt with. Do you know what I'm saying? Okay, and I'm just using an example from my job. And then you have whoever is in charge of you coming down on you, and you want to be your own boss, but like in my case, I don't know what I should be doing to be my own boss or whatever. Okay, I don't want to project my crap on you, but my point is that being out in the so-called real world, which is this fake illusion, okay, that we all woke up to, all right, and then to go back home or whatever and to live in true reality with the Father. And I've already talked about this to a point, but I'm doing this to set something up here, okay, because this is a fragmentation that just is designed to destroy you. It's designed to destroy you. And then you have things happen like this past weekend with the EBT cards going offline. Alright. And the people on the cards aren't the problem. Okay. Even if they're abusing the system. I'm not thrilled with anybody taking advantage of anybody else, but I'd much rather have the system for the people who actually need it as opposed to not having the system at all. Alright. And then here, well, they're going to turn off all the cards starting November 1st, and now Section 8 housing's up in there. Okay. First of all, none of us should be depending on this government. Okay. And the reason why they put out articles like this, okay, the reason why they put out articles about Barack Obama going to Jerusalem, okay, and going to Bethlehem at specific supposed holy days on the Jewish calendar is not so that the average, zombie character type person, okay, reads the article and gets convicted that, oh my goodness, Barack Obama is the Antichrist, okay? It is not for them. That article is for you. It's for you. It's the one who's awake, okay? They're targeting you. It is a psyop against you. Just like, oh, they're going to cut off Section 8 housing, okay? If you've ever had anybody deal with an eviction, it is a long, arduous process. And then you'd be talking about thousands of people against, and then you'd be talking about a bunch of landlords that would obviously look at the situation and be like, we're having millions of people displaced all at the exact same time, and it's not their fault. Landlords are going to try to find a way, unless the landlord is a complete, asshole, in which case that person just shows themselves for who they are. Okay? If they cut off Section 8 on November 1st, it's still going to take at least 3 months to a year to evict a person. And that's assuming that the landlord is on top of it and wants to get rid of someone. I'm not saying don't have emergency supplies, okay? When there was a power outage a few months ago. I was incredibly grateful for the fact that I had lanterns, I had batteries, I had ways to cook food if it were an extended period of time where I didn't have it. I was incredibly grateful for that, and it makes sense to be prepared for an emergency situation, okay? But please, if you just woke up, do not do what I did, and that was pull out everything and go spend it all on storable food, okay? Because the type of food you need to be storing up isn't going to be physical, okay? All of these stories that you're hearing on the news and all this stuff that's getting tossed around by the alternative media and everything, okay, it is meant to make those who are awake panic. It is targeted at us, those who know, okay? The average person that's just out there doing their job and watching Sunday night football and eating Cheetos and all the little things that we like to say, okay, the one who is dead asleep, don't care. They don't understand it. Okay? Those articles, more than anything, are designed to get people like us riled up so that they can then look at us and say, look at how crazy they are. They need to be detained. And I'm not going to lie, there are days I wish they would just fucking throw the switch. Then it would be clear. This is what you're dealing with. It's not like, oh, okay, I'm going to talk politely about the weather and then talk to you about selling you stuff that's all hobby and really doesn't mean anything and it has no depth and meaning to it. Let's talk about real issues. Let's talk about, what's really meaningful in life. But see, there is no more discourse in that anymore with the average person until you start saying magical buzzwords like chemtrails, and then all of a sudden you'll meet somebody down the street that you can have a real conversation with. Okay, and that's what we're learning how to do, is to kind of drop the appropriate thing to find the right people. Okay, which brings up another problem. Where are we getting all these articles? We're getting them from the mainstream media and the governments we don't trust in the first place. This is theater. I know, I was a theater technician, and I still fall for it sometimes. Okay? It makes me so fucking angry. I'm sorry. I want to pick up things and throw them. I get so angry sometimes. But I know better than to let that anger take over. The anger is not the solution. The anger is the fuel to be able to be the solution. All right? Give me a minute. I'm trying to, they're trying to get us to panic so they can blame us. Okay? And then the reality is, they're doing all of that. They're creating all these articles. They're creating all these stories. They're doing all these little miniature false flags. And you know what? People may actually die. There might have been people who actually died at Sandy Hook or whatever, okay? But the reality is, all the stories they feed us are scripted, okay? So whatever happened in whatever particular location, I don't care how you're coming to the conclusion that it's a lie, but the bottom line is, it is a lie. And we're all sitting behind our computers passing around this information, when in reality, and this is the thing I'm working on, okay, I don't want it to seem like I got it all figured out and I'm there, because I'm not. All right, but I am working to get there. Okay, we need to be away from our freaking computers, talking to the people on the street, making the fucking community that we're all fucking looking for. And it's not easy. It's not easy. It is not easy to sit there and take 4 steps forward and get kicked back 5. And you know what I'm talking about. Since I woke up in 2007, my life has been like something out of a frickin' spy movie. And I would never wish this on anybody. And the thing is that because it's been like a spy movie sometimes, that's how I know it's real. Okay? The fact that they have to, that there is so much money wrapped up and so much energy wrapped up in this political and media theater going on, okay, should tell you how powerful you and I are. And that if we're truly out there being the light in the darkness, we can overcome it. All right? And it's not going to be overcome with guns. It's not going to be overcome with protests. Okay? And don't get me wrong, I was encouraged by what I saw in Washington, D.C. because even though going out and doing those things really, in the end, in many ways, does not change things, it shows there are more people who are awake as to what is going on. There are more and more people who are willing to get up out of their seat and do something. You know, hearing the story about vets going over and mowing the lawn of one of the memorial sites, that encouraged me. Okay? Because there are people who are actually willing to get up and take action. And not just sit there and hand someone another little brochure or another DVD or another membership to whatever alternative news source. Okay? One of the most difficult things that I've had to learn time and again is how to trust people again. And when you wake up and you realize that everything around you is a frickin' lie, it's very difficult to trust people. But you've got to. And I'm saying this not just for me. Don't go thinking that I got it all, because I don't. You know, and like I said, there are days I just wish it would all just be done. You know, it'd be a lot easier. Then it's real easy to see who your enemy is. You're not constantly going four steps forward and getting taught another way that you have been deceived. And that is essentially what the waking up process is all about. All the little nuances, all the 1,000,001 ways that you can be deceived. And just when you think you've seen them all, there's another one. And it's a refining process, because in the process of doing that, you realize not only how you have been deceived, but how you have deceived. All right. I say all of that to get to a story that the Father led me to a few days ago. And it's in 2 Kings 7, starting with verse 3. And there were 4 leprous men at the entering of the gate, and they said to one another, "Why sit we here until we die? If we say we will enter into the city, then the famine is in the city, and we shall die there. And if we sit still here, we die also. Now therefore come, and let us fall unto the host of the Syrians. If they save us alive, we shall live, and if they kill us, we shall but die." And they rose up in the twilight to go into the camp of the Syrians, and when they were come into the uttermost part of the camp of Syria, behold, there was no man there. For the Lord had made the host of the Syrians to hear a noise of chariots, and a noise of horses, and even the noise of a great host. And they said to one another, "Lo, the king of Israel hath hired against us the kings of the Hittites and the kings of the Egyptians to come upon us." And wherefore they rose and fled in the twilight, and left their tents and their horses and their asses, and even the camp as it was, and fled for their life. And when these lepers came to the uttermost part of the camp, and went into one tent, they did eat and drink, and carried thence silver, gold, and raiment, and went and hid it. And they came again, and entered into another tent, and carried thence also, and went and hid it. Then they said to one another, we do not well. This day is a day of good tidings, for we hold our peace. If we tarry till the morning light, some mischief will come upon us. Now therefore come, that we may go and tell the king's household. All right. ISON, martial law, FEMA camps, Fukushima, fill in the blank. That's what this is. Be like the 4 lepers. Wait and realize you're either going to live or you're going to die. But sitting here isn't the answer. If the Father is with us and He's truly leading you where you're going to step, this is what you're going to find. He will clear the way for you. All right? Forgive me for using more adult language and getting a little bit emotionally riled up on this one. I'm sick of the lies. I'm sick of the crap. And yeah, I do wish we could just hit the magical reset button and just start over. But that's not the way the Father's having us do it right now. It may change in the future. In the future, He may hit the reset button for us, and we don't have any other plan. At which case, it's great that you have storable food and you can share it with other people, etc., etc., etc. But it may never come to that. And if you're trusting in your food stores, you're not trusting in the Father. If you're trusting in your radiation tablets, you're not trusting in the Father. All right? And for those of you who have no money, no funds, no place to go, nothing else, remember the 4 lepers. They didn't have anything, and they were set aside from the rest of society. They were considered expendable. All right? Anyhow, may the Father bless you all. I love you. It's all going to be fine. All right?